Hi guys, my name is Vibhor Goel and today I am going to show you how to build a Power BI dashboard from scratch to end. And so for those of you who are new to Power BI and who haven't worked on it but have been working on Excel till now, Power BI is another reporting and dashboarding tool from Microsoft, which is far more advanced than Excel. And if you have been using Excel till now, it would be very easy for you to transition into Power BI, as a lot of functionalities are similar between Power BI and Excel. So let's get started. So today I am going to show you how to create a dashboard on a Corona test center data. So I am using this data from a Corona test center where I will be using the SQL Server database. So I have two options. One is to use this SQL Server and uh, create the server and database and use both either import or the direct query method. So with import method you can import the data directly into your model, or with direct query you can link it to the database where it will get refreshed, but it loses a few functionalities. So that's why I'm going to use import. So what I've done is I have already saved my connection because I created it earlier, and I'm just going to open my earlier connection and I am going to basically connect through the tables that the connection will give me. So it is currently opening up, and once it opens up it will give me a list of tables where I will be basically working with only one table, which is called the check-in table. And I will be using the search option and choosing check-in. So since okay, I made a mistake, so yeah, now I can see the check-in table. So I will just click it and I can see the table preview, and I have two options. One is load and another is transform. So load data will directly load it into your dashboard, but I will use transform as I have to remove some work. So I will use import here, and I will remove some columns in the Power Query editor that has opened up because I chose transform. So in this table I will only be using 5 columns to work with the data set. So what I will do is I will create or I will remove everything from link till the last column. So that way I have a much cleaner data set, and it will be easier for me to work on it. Now I will, since you can see every action that we are taking is being recorded in applied steps, and you can use the cross to remove any of the steps that you need. Now I will be looking at the data types of what Power BI has already created. So for ID it's a number, so it's fine. Then the customer ID is also fine, but the start time is given as text, which should be converted to number. So I will do that. So the way data types are changed is you can see the ABC or 1 2 3 at the start of the column. Just click on it and just change the data type. So now you can see that the data type is changed, and I will do it for the close time as well. So these are the times that someone entered the test center and left. So they have been recorded here. And so for example, if I would have received any error while converting this, so there can be error values in my data set. So for that case I will just use transform, and I will go to the replace values drop down, and I can either replace values or replace errors with a preset value. So for example, I can give errors a value of 1990 or 1900, because that way it won't impact the other aspects of my data model, and I can work with it without any issues. So right, so now as I have told you that I will be making some more changes. So I will be adding some more columns. So I will be going to the home, and I will basically add a column name test date. So as you can see that so here you can see the model view or the report view. So once I went into the report view, it will load the complete data into my model. Since I was only working with the data view, so the data was not completely loaded. So now this is the report view, then we were in data view, and then there is the model view. So I will just quickly show you the data view. So as you can see that once we have transformed, we only have these 5 columns. Now I will quickly also give you a look at the model view. So basically in the model view, you can basically see all the relationships between the tables that have been created, and this basically helps in understanding or in slicing and dicing of data. So I will give that overview to you later, because I only have one table right now. So I will be adding a new column through the top, and I will be splitting the start time into date and time. So I will first create a test date column, and I will be basically using the date function of Power BI, where I will just tell the name of the column. So as you can see, the IntelliSense is working, and it's already telling me the columns in this table. So I will just press tab, and the whole thing will be coming up, and now it's giving me the other options. Since we have made this column a date time column, so it's giving me these options. So I will be choosing the dot date option. So what that has done is it has converted my column into date, although I will be changing it so that the preceding time will, so I will change the format so that the preceding time goes away. Now I will be working on the result column. So the result column tells me that how many positives or negatives were received. So in this case, the positives are marked as 0 and the negatives are marked as 1, and no results are -1. So basically in undecided tests are -1. So basically I am interested in the positive results, because we will be creating a graph on it. So what I will do is I will create another column called positive results. So I will quickly do that through the new column, and so I will name it positive results, and I will use an if condition where I will check if the check-in result value is, if the result column value is 0, then it should give me 1 in this new column. So it's an if condition which I am going to use here, and else it should give me 0. So this will help me in counting or summing up the results in my graphs. So I will again use the IntelliSense here, and I will see that if the check-in result is 0, then it should give me 1, or it should also give me a 0 if it's not working, right? So this way I will basically see the results here. So now you can see that if I am filtering the 1 is marked as 0, and 0 everything else. So if it's a 0, then it's giving me 1. So this is what we essentially wanted. Now we will work on creating a few more columns with regards to the time. So since we are going to show our graphs on a month basis, so to properly represent it with month and year, we will be creating a column called month year, where I will concatenate month as well as year. And here I will be just using the format option, where I will just keep changing the format, and new columns will be created. So in this case I will be using the triple M, MMM, YY format, and on the test date column. So that way I will get a month and year concatenated columns, which will be very useful once we are creating our visualizations. So just pressing enter, and the column of month year will be creating. Now the problem with the month is that we cannot alphabetically sort it, because then it won't give us the right results, right? So if we alphabetically sort it, then April comes up first instead of January. So we will have to basically use a sort order which works in case of month, and for that part we will be using, or we will be creating another column called year month code, and that column basically will basically help us in sorting the month year. So as we have this month here, you can see if I sort it, it will start with April, which is not correct. So we need to do something about it. So as I told you, we will be creating a new column and not using the alphabetical sort in this case. So what I will do is I will name this column as year month code, and with this column we will basically use the same format option, and use the check-in test date as our base column, and we will just reformat it as YYYYMM. So that way I am getting a numerical column, right? And if we use a numerical column for sort, that would work. Another amazing thing with Power BI is you can sort a column on the basis of another column. So for that I will go into column tools and sort by column option, and here I will sort the month year column on the basis of year month code. So this basically works for us, and all the sorting will now happen on this. And since we don't need the year month code, so as you can see, if I sort it ascending, it will give me, because the results are starting from April 21, so this is correct. The data is from April 21. I will also quickly hide this column by right clicking and hide in report view, because we don't need it in the model. It's just used for the sorting of month year column. Now we have already created all our date based columns that we need. We will be quickly creating a new column where we will also extract the time from our result, from our start time. So because we will be creating a visualization where we will be using like time based graphs. So I will be naming it test time, and again with the format option I will use the check-in start time and give it a format of HHMMSS. So that will basically help me in my formatting here. Okay, so now it's created as test time. So we are done with our data manipulations. So Now we can move to the report view. Before that, I will show you the model quickly. So as I told you that we only have the check-in and we don't have any other table, so we have not created any relationships. So what I will do is I will basically, also you have a lot of options here where you can change the properties of any column. So you can also change the enter a description for a column, or you can change the date type. So as we changed it from the data view, we can do it from the model view as well. So this is how the model view works, but it will be more understandable once there are more tables. Now in the report view, you can see the tables and all the columns that we created, they are towards the right. So let's work with these one by one. So first of all, I will start by creating something called a table. Or so first these are all the visualization panels. As you can see, you have all the charts here, and the slicer, the matrix, the card which is used for KPI, then the multi-row cards. So all these things. First I will use a text box from the top to give a heading to my report, and I will be calling this report Corona Test Center SB report. So I will quickly increase the size of the text because it's very small. So I will give it a size of 40, and I will middle it, and I will write in the name. So I think this is very important to start with, because now you can basically use your report, and it's already in a formatted way. So this is how I am going to start with, and then I will quickly start adding visualizations to it. So I will first start with the table, and I will choose the test date. So you can see that it has given me 4 columns once I chose test date, which is year, quarter, month and day. But because Power BI automatically creates hierarchies for all the date columns, but in this case we don't need the hierarchy. So what we will do is, on the values towards the right, we can choose a drop down where or we can remove these. So if I only need quarter, we can keep it, but in this case we will just use this drop down, and we will change it from the date hierarchy to the test date. So it's the same as it looks in the data view now. So one thing I will quickly do is, because it's also giving me this time on the side, so I will just change the data type of test date in my column, in my data column, and in that way I will be able to basically I will be able to remove this time from here, and that will be more representative, or it would be more easier to understand that this is a date column, and like there is no association with time with this. So let's quickly do that. To do that, I will have to basically go into the data column. So but yeah, before that, what I can do is I can use the create a measure. So that measure would be called number of tests, and this measure is created so that we can count the number of tests. So to do that, what I will use is, I will need to use a unique column. So and the ID column is unique in this, so I will just use the count and count with ID. So now you can see that this number of tests is here, and you can also see that it's marked as a calculator, and every column out here is marked with the data type, right? But the for every measure that we create, it's only marked as a calculator. So I will be adding this. So let's quickly do that. So if I drag it here, so you can see that the number of tests and all for every day. And now I am quickly going to go, and so now I have sorted this. So you can see that it's sorted. Now I'm going to quickly go into the data table and change the data type as I told earlier. So I will use this format option and make it a short date instead of a general date. So anything that you change in your data model, it gets reflected to every place that you are working with. So now I will also add the positive results on to it. So I will just quickly drag the positive results, and you can see that on every day what positive results were there and how many number of tests were performed. Now I will quickly format it to basically be placed just starting from the heading. So I can quickly use these drag and drop options. So yeah, these options where I can just increase the size of the width or the height, and now it's like a full table. So what I have done here is I have created a table with the number of tests, and now I am creating a slicer. Okay, so I made a mistake. I did not come out of my visualization, and I will use the undo button. So you can also keep this in mind when you are creating a new visualization. You need to basically come out of the one that you were already in. So now I have created this slicer. It has taken the same size as the table, so but that's fine, we can change it later on. This slicer will be for month year. So what I will do is I will add month year to the field. So you can see that all the values are coming as a list in the month year. So this is something that will be helpful. Okay, so now that we have created the slicer, so what I will do is I will use the formatting option and increase the text size so that it's more visible, and I will do the same with the header. So you have all these formatting options like slicer, header and all, so you can format these things. So I will just add an and here and increase the size. So yeah, now you can see how this is working, and I will just put it at top plus bottom. So this is the outline that I have created, and now with this our slicer is ready, and you can slice and dice data through this. I will also adjust the size of this, and then I will basically create a line chart. So now after this there will be a line chart that will be created, which will basically showcase the number of tests that that are being done on a daily basis. And this line chart will basically tell us or give us a pictorial representation of our data. Till now we have only used table. So I have selected this line chart, and now I have placed it here, and we can quickly add our dimensions to it. So this I will place it in a way that I can also accommodate another chart. So we will do like half and half. So this chart is for the number of tests, the other chart will be for the number of positive results month on month. So I will be using month here as my axis, and as a value I will be using number of tests. So you can see that it has given a crude chart to you, which you can basically use according to your needs. But in order to make it look more attractive, we will be using some formatting options, right? So we will be adding things like data labels, shapes, and we will also be adding the drill down option here. So you can see that the month here is here. So I'm going into I will do a drill down for the day. So I've added day in my chart. So now you can see that you have an option to drill it down. So just do right click and drill down. So this way it will move to the next drill, which is all the days in the month of December, and then you can come back as well. So this is how this chart will work. And apart from this, now we will be moving on to the formatting options, where I will be first starting with the data label, and we can adjust the position of the data label, the size. So it's quite small, so it's not visible, so I will be making it bold as well. And I will be adding some decimal places to it, because I think that's something that's going to be more representative. So from the right, so here the thousands are selected, so that's the same. And I will then move on to shapes. So by shape I can show the marker here. So now you can see that where that label is landing up, so it's easier to see and visualize. And I will go on to the decimals. So I will add 1 decimal to it, and so now I can see more information around this. With this, I will go back to shapes, and I will start the stepped option. So this makes this chart more like a waterfall chart or a candle shape chart. So this is something that I really like. And I can also change the marker shape. I can change the size according to me. So I can make it a diamond or a rectangle, and increase its size. So this has gone too big, so I will decrease it a little. Okay, so yeah, now this looks good. Now I will quickly create another chart by yeah, before that I will be working on the label. So you see that we have this label of number of tests by month here, but I can make it better, right? So to do that, I will be using the series label option. Okay, so no, series label is something that will give you the label of the line. So we are representing number of tests here, so it will give you the number of tests. Yeah, we will be using something. So here I am adjusting the text size of the axis. So now this is also more clearly visible. I will also do the same with the y-axis. So just after this I will work with the y-axis. So yeah, so here you can see there you have the same options. So I will make it a little bigger and make it bold. So now the chart looks even prettier. There is also the option of zoom slider, but it's on horizontal and I don't need it, so I'm just showing it to you. So apart from this, you can also change the data colors. So the data colors, you can change it for individual items. So you can change it for April, for May. So for May you can like change it to orange, right? But that is not needed in my chart, so I will just revert it back. So these are all the formatting options that you have available to work with in the area. So yeah, here is the title that I am interested in. But so if I click on this FX, uh, or it will take me to a formula based title, which I don't need. So I will just keep working on the size and the way the chart looks. Okay, so now I am happy with the chart, and I need to create another chart for number of positive results. So what I will do is I will quickly copy this visual and drag it just below the first one. And now all the formatting options that I chose are pre-selected. So this is the benefit of copying a visual, because you won't have to do all that work again. And I will just make changes related to this chart. So I will add positive results instead of number of tests, and I will go into the title. The data label is going to be none, because the data is like the numbers are very small in comparison to number of tests. The number of positive results are very less, so it won't be representative. And since I can already drill it down, because I added day in my earlier visualization, and see everything is getting applied everywhere. So it's like more of a collaborative thing. So as I told you about the FX, you can use the field value or whatever field you want the title text to be based on, but I don't want that. So what I will do is I will quickly just do a Control Z or an undo, right? And that way, yeah, so now the number of tests by month has come back, and I will just replace it with number of positive results. Yeah, now my visualization is almost ready. So you can see how easy it is to work within Power BI with a data set. And after this you can go into the Power BI dashboard, and you can do a sign in. So it usually asks, if you are a new user, it will ask you to sign up from your organizational account. And once you do that, you will see a dashboard like this, and you can publish your apps in your My Workspace. So this is a database that I created earlier, a dashboard that I created earlier, I'm sorry. And these are the visuals within this dashboard. Then this is the report which was published by me. I can easily use pin to dashboard option and add it to an existing dashboard or a new dashboard using the pin live option. So that is how we work with this. And then this is all about the Power BI dashboard that we have now created from scratch. So if you like this content, please like this video, and please share and subscribe. So, and if you want something, then give it make a comment, and I will be glad to assist you. So thank you so much.